So this is My Brigidista Year by Catherine Patterson. Now, Catherine Patterson is maybe not a household name, but her book certainly is. Bridge to Terabithia. Most elementary school girls read this book, and I just recently reread it when my elementary school girls were reading. We were reading it together this summer, and it is still so wonderful, so beautiful. It tells a story about a boy, Bridge to Terabithia, about a young boy and a young girl, and their friendship. This book is about a young girl who lives in Cuba in the 60s, and it's about her, you can sort of see in the cover, but that there's a young girl with books. In the 60s, Fidel Castro decides, and this part of it is a true story, that he wants his whole country to become literate, which is a huge challenge because despite the small scale of the country of Cuba, there was actually high illiteracy at the time. And so they hire lots of people to teach literacy skills across the countryside. And so this is a young girl from Havana who's 14 years old, and she goes out into the country and she teaches them to read because she's a very good reader. It's hard because if this book was by anybody else, you wouldn't compare it to one of your favorite books of childhood, The Bridge to Terabithia. It was hard because I just didn't feel like this was that kind of book. It didn't change my life, but it was a good read. It was an interesting story. It was about how kind of you'll see that there's a really comparative culture between. You can look at the girl and her life in Havana, and they're poor but they're literate, and then these people in the countryside who are also poor but they have a lot in their life, and they don't have literacy but they have so many other things, and so they come to learn a lot from each other. And so the little girl, or the young woman, I guess, in really what she gets are these sort of personal skills and certain meaning-making things that she hadn't had. And of course the people in the countryside learn to read.